that he was drastically showing weight loss and drastically looking a lot more gray and tired.
The thing that really stands out that she says is that at one point Diddy had a knife inside her mouth and then says, "I'm going to give you a Glasgow smile," which is, slitting someone's cheeks.
Diddy is apparently refusing meals. I don't know if it's all of them, but he's refusing some of them, and he's been reportedly looking a lot thinner.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs is reportedly facing immense emotional and physical struggles behind bars as he battles serious charges. A leaked CNN audio clip allegedly captures him crying inside his cell at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. Witnesses say Diddy looks noticeably thinner and grayer, with reports suggesting he's grappling with severe stress, paranoia about food safety, and even skipping meals out of fear.
A court hearing or a court appearance, and a lot of the headlines were, there's no cameras in there, but journalists that were in there said that when Diddy came out, that he was drastically showing weight loss and drastically looking a lot more gray and tired. I wanted to see if you had any thoughts on that, on his appearance, and if you had any thoughts on the court hearing itself.
Well, the weight loss, okay, yeah. You don't eat like you eat. You ain't drinking like you've been drinking. See, with bottles, it's a lot of sugar and alcohol. He definitely ain't eating like he is. Stress is a motherfucker. They don't feel dark and lovely in there, y'all. That's all it is, y'all. You stress a lot more. You get great when you're stressing, right? Man, y'all just don't understand. Niggas shitting more too. When you going through stress in your life change, now think about how y'all body act. When you either eat a lot or you don't eat a lot. Your body do crazy stuff. We all deal with things different. A lot of people get brain, when they stressing and all of that. Shitting on, can't stop shitting. Sitting on the toilet daily when you're stressing. Me, I eat a lot.
Diddy Combs, once known for his lavish lifestyle and access to the finest cuisine, is reportedly struggling to adjust to prison meals. Accustomed to high-end, chef-prepared dishes, the drastic shift has led him to skip meals entirely. Sources say he has expressed strong disdain for the standard prison fare, a stark contrast to his former life of luxury. Like many high-profile inmates, Diddy is reportedly wary of food tampering, heightening his reluctance to eat. His struggle to adapt has deepened his isolation, both physically and mentally. Experts note that his behavior mirrors that of other elite prisoners who find the transition from power and privilege to confinement overwhelmingly difficult. For Diddy, food has become more than just sustenance. It's a painful symbol of his lost control and a stark reminder of his new reality.
Refusing meals. I don't know if it's all of them, but he's refusing some of them, and he's been reportedly looking a lot thinner. Why would that be?
Maybe he doesn't like the cuisine, or maybe now that he's actually in a dormitory, he's not living in his cell. Well, he's living in a cell, but he's not in there all day long. Now he can buy items at the commissary, and because of that, he may be making his own food. He probably has access to a microwave oven, or maybe like boiling hot water, and they make burritos and different things. He doesn't want to eat the prison food, I suppose, because he's scared somebody's going to put something in it. I've said this before. That's the way to get to this guy. Poison his food, turn him off like a light switch, and he can't testify against any.
Beyond his struggles with meals, Diddy is reportedly isolating himself in his cell for extended periods. Insiders suggest this is a calculated move to protect himself from potential threats, as his fame and influence could make him a target in the general prison population. By choosing seclusion, he is using the prison system structure as a shield. However, this isolation comes at a cost. While it may safeguard him physically, it also deepens his loneliness and anxiety, cutting off essential social interactions. His reluctance to engage with the broader prison community highlights how his celebrity status, once a source of power, has now become a liability in confinement.
Choosing to leave his jail cell, but it might not be for the reason that y'all think. Now, Now, usually when somebody is in jail or prison and they refuse to leave their cell, it's because they're scared of the other inmates, and it's called a PC move. It's like putting yourself in protective custody. That's not exactly what Diddy is doing here, even though I'm sure that does have something to do with it. Diddy allegedly refuses to leave his jail cell to avoid more of these assault lawsuits. According to this article, Diddy is refusing to leave his jail cell when they call him down to book in to serve him with more lawsuits. If you're sitting in jail and they're going to serve you with more charges or more lawsuits, they call you down to book in and you have to sign for it. But if you refuse to leave the cell, they only have two options: come back later, or they can actually pay a sheriff's deputy to come down and serve you at your cell. This is exactly what they're going to end up doing here, so everything that he's trying to get out of this stuff is not going to work. It's a nice try, but you can't hide from justice forever.
A guard at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center has provided rare insight into Diddy's life behind bars. According to the guard, Diddy has been placed in a private cell, separate from the general population, a measure taken to ensure his safety, as high-profile inmates often face unique risks in prison. While this decision is meant to protect him, it also raises concerns about potential preferential treatment. Managing celebrity inmates comes with added complexities, balancing security with fairness. The guard emphasized that Diddy is being treated within the constraints of prison rules, but his fame undeniably influences the dynamics of his incarceration.
That Diddy is in protective custody there?
Yeah, he's a celebrity.
And by himself.
Any celebrity go to jail have to be, you know, you can't be around people. You're a celebrity. You could manipulate people, you do whatever. I mean, even around the CO. Diddy. The CO's going.
Yeah, from my experience, I think they're keeping him by himself.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to put him in a cell.
So everybody's like, oh, he's not gonna, unless he says, I want to be with I want to be out there. They ain't gonna put him out there, and it's a risk doing it.
Now, is there a private unit for someone like him, or is he just in the cell in the shoe?
Yeah, he probably would be in the he probably would keep him in shoe, but he feel like it's in, you know, the shoe is different. You know about shoes. The shoe is a little. They probably would keep him in for a little while, and if he said he want to get out to society, you know, they can push him to be there.
But not in Gen Pop.
Not in Gen Pop. I mean, they probably could put him in Gen Pop, but
I don't think they would.
That's scary. It's a scary situation.
They're not going to risk that after that.
Amid swirling rumors and revelations about Diddy's past, Tupac Shakur's former girlfriend has now weighed in. In a recent interview, she expressed little surprise at the allegations and controversies surrounding him, claiming she had suspected his alleged actions for years. She suggested that much of what is now coming to light was already known within certain circles. Her comments add another layer to the public's perception of Diddy, linking current events to the long-standing tensions and rivalries within the hip-hop industry. Her perspective highlights that Diddy's struggles extend beyond his legal battles. They're also tied to a history of complex relationships and past actions that continue to resurface.
With all of the recent headlines about Puffy and all of the allegations of the drugging and the abuse and the drugs that he's allegedly on, are you surprised by any of the headlines?
Absolutely not. Nope.
Why, Desiree? Why?
Because I know a lot of people that know him. I met one of his old security guards and not been nudity about him. Weird shit. Like in Strap-On. I met this girl one time that did a photo shoot for him. It's a nice young lady from Canada. And me and her ended up going on vacation together. And a few months later, and she told me something that she saw go down at his house in the Hamptons. And then a few months later, she told me that she went hanging out with like his bodyguard and his entourage, and somebody drugged her, and she doesn't know what happened. So none of this is alarming. And then she went back to Canada. So.
And how long ago was this? Was
Oh.
it in the 90s?
This was in the 2000s. Maybe like around 2004, 2000, somewhere.
Former Bad Boy Records bodyguard Gene Deal has made shocking allegations about Diddy's influence in the hip-hop industry. According to Deal, Diddy and Jay-Z were allegedly involved in efforts to sideline East Coast rappers, suggesting a calculated strategy to dominate the music scene by eliminating competition. His claims have ignited intense debates among fans and industry insiders. While some dismiss them as unverified, others view them as a glimpse into the darker side of the music business. These allegations have only added fuel to the fire, further complicating Diddy's already embattled public image.
G and Puff was given an assignment, and that was to destroy East Coast rap. And what I mean by that, and I know people gonna like, yo, Gene is out of his mind and everything like that. Check this out, bro. Is that New York rappers was getting 800 to 1.2 million, or something larger than that, and sign with labels back then. And they was getting a lot of money to make albums and records. When they had guys down south, but these labels was paying $250,000, $300,000 on record deals, and these guys was bringing back platinum albums and everything like that. So what they had to do was, they had to keep New York rappers down. That's one reason, other than the Irv Gotti shit that 50 was going through, and the poison they was putting in about 50, he had to go elsewhere to California, or with Jay and not with Dre and Eminem to get a deal. They did not want East Coast rappers to get big. They were suppressing all new artists that was coming out of New York. Jay and Diddy was...
A former bodyguard has unveiled astonishing details about Diddy's legendary parties, events famed for their extravagance and exclusivity, yet often cloaked in mystery. He described scenes of unimaginable decadence, where wealth, celebrity, and indulgence were on full display. While these revelations have captivated the public, Diddy's legal team has been swift in defending his reputation. They argue that the parties were entirely harmless, emphasizing that all participants were consenting adults. This defense aims to shift the narrative, focusing on the consensual nature of these gatherings rather than the swirling allegations of misconduct.
There's translators because they have stronger heads and stronger jaws.
Now, who told you that?
This is Satan, his name is Bobby Valentino.
Bobby Valentino. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so you know, when we grew up, we never looked up to these type of people. We always looked up to the gangsters, bro. So like, the gangster guys, my uncles and all them, they would always say, be careful, and take stuff, something like that.
Exactly.
And then you're operating in a network of people where, you know, he was the middleman. He's the party guy for the guys who really got the money. So none of these problems started until he went after the liquor company that owned Ciroc. We all thought he was part owner of Ciroc. The moment he won that lawsuit, shortly after, he sold Revolt TV. Revolt TV was his gate, his own network. He worked hard on it. So when I saw he sold that to his buddy, wow.
In response to mounting scrutiny, Diddy's legal team has firmly stated that his parties were harmless, emphasizing that all participants were consenting adults. This defense seeks to counter allegations by underscoring the voluntary nature of these events, shifting the focus away from controversy.
You know, a little bit more of what they're alleging here in this filing. So they're saying that these freak-offs are harmless, essentially. Harmless adult activities. Take a look at this filing. They're writing that, like many Americans in the privacy of their own bedrooms, they sometimes film their sexual activity. These videos show that the person alleged in the indictment to be victim one not only consented, but that she thoroughly enjoyed herself. So, Dr. Laurel, how mainstream is this type of activity?
How mainstream is recording sex with, you know, just because it may not happen in every home, in every situation, doesn't mean it's not, you know, common or appropriate. The issue is are the participants able to consent with respect to age and being sober? And so, sure, people record themselves all the time and use those recordings in a variety of.
Diddy's past interactions with Suge Knight underscore the long-standing tensions within the hip-hop industry. Both figures have faced significant legal challenges, revealing the complex web of relationships and rivalries that define the rap world.
People thought it was a distribution where blacks would distribute their own music, distribute their own music and stuff like that. So that's what we thought it was back then. But it was truth behind the fact that it was Jay-Z and Puff that went to those folks and let them know what Suge Knight was trying to do. And so that's how all those other labels got raided. What you call that? Rap-A-La. Rockefeller got on the list. And Rockefeller got on the list because of the fact that Dame and Jaden was breaking up anyway, because I don't know if Dame even spoke on them. They gave Jay the opportunity, saying like, yo, if you get rid of Dame, you help us get rid of Dame. And this, everybody knew this. They told Jay, if you help us get rid of Dame, you understand, we're gonna make you the president of Def Jam. So they faked like they was gonna do the ones and twos with Dame, and then they actually did it with Jay-Z. They had promised Dame that they was gonna give Dame Def Jam, you know what I'm saying? But they wasn't going to.
There have also been unsubstantiated allegations suggesting that Diddy was involved in Craig Mack's contracting of a disease and the subsequent incident, though these claims remain unverified.
Let's talk about Craig Mack. See, it's messed up enough that Craig Mack started Bad Boy and got them off the ground, but we all know that Diddy and his freak parties, that's what exposed Craig Mack and got him HIV. You know, Diddy was the one who set Craig Mack up with the woman who gave him HIV. You know, they was all, going one after the other, which leads me to believe that all of them might have it, you dig? And if Craig Mack, y'all not familiar with him, man, he caught HIV. He's the one who just made Bad Boy take off, and he died from full-blown AIDS a few years ago living at a coast, South Carolina. But guess what? Diddy was the one who set him up with the chick. You dig? So it's probably safe to say that Diddy, Craig Mack, a whole lot of these people are sharing diseases and swapping bodily fluids because you have not heard a mention of a condom. Long live Craig Mack. Down with Diddy, man. Y'all need to make better decisions.
If the government accepts Diddy's lawyer's statements as truthful, it could significantly impact the legal proceedings. The lawyer has dismissed certain video evidence as non-existent, labeling related claims as unfounded.
The government is the government in the Southern District of New York. Can't imagine this is what they're hanging their hat on. It's what that describes. Like one of those things that when you have a weakness in a case, the government has to decide how they're going to use that. My guess is they're going to use it to show that there were sex workers and sex workers were paid. I would imagine that they have the sex workers that are in the video to come in, describe what was going on or what happened before they went on tape, whether or not they had drugs or alcohol or anything else.
In their own letter, they argued the defense judge violated the protective order in this case because they included in their filing, quote, unredacted descriptions and characterizations of material designated AEO. This is attorney's eyes only. And they argue that this threatens the privacy of the victims. They shouldn't have disclosed what these tapes are about. They are asking the court to remove it from the public filing, have it be refiled with redactions. Well, the defense responded in a follow-up letter. They said, look, court, we will make these requested redactions. We're not happy about it, and we want the court to actually step in, allow us to refile this later on with narrower redactions. Why? Because we believe that the government's request here was way too over.
In response to the allegations, Diddy has filed a $50 million defamation lawsuit against news agencies and a grand jury, arguing that the claims against him are baseless and have severely damaged his reputation. This lawsuit is a bold move, signaling his determination to fight back against what he views as a deliberate campaign to tarnish his name. By seeking such a substantial sum in damages, Diddy aims to send a clear message about the seriousness of the accusations and his commitment to clearing his name.
A news agency and a grand jury witness for defamation. A $50 million lawsuit claims that Courtney Burgess, who is a witness subpoenaed to testify in front of a grand jury against Combs, repeatedly spread false information that he had videos of Combs participating in the sexual assault of minors and celebrities. Combs' legal team says the videos do not exist. The lawsuit also includes News Nation's parent company, Nexstar Media, alleging that the network promoted Burgess's claim on air. The lawsuit claims the defendants fueled a, quote, media frenzy that will prevent Combs from having a fair trial. Combs is said to go on trial for racketeering, sex trafficking, and fraud or coercion starting May the 5th. He's pleaded not guilty.
On January 22nd, 2025, a new victim came forward, Ashley Parham, who filed a lawsuit against Diddy in California federal court in October, shared shocking details in an interview with Ashley Banfield on News Nation. Parham described a harrowing incident in 2018, alleging that Combs and two other men mistreated her while recording the attack. According to her account, she managed to escape by threatening Combs with a knife and fleeing his home after a neighbor created a timely distraction. Parham also spoke about the incident in the Peacock documentary Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy, which delves into these allegations. In response, Combs' legal team has vehemently denied the claims, labeling the accusations presented in the documentary as fabricated. The documentary's revelations have added another layer of shocking allegations, intensifying public scrutiny of the music mogul's past actions.
Really stands out that she says is that at one point Diddy had a knife inside her mouth and then says, I'm going to give you a Glasgow smile, which is, slitting someone's cheeks. But he's warned against it by a member of his team, saying Diddy's associates would prefer it if she, referring to Ashley, looked normal. She also says that they said to her they could ship her off and sell her to anyone in the world and she'd never be seen again by her parents or loved ones. Now, Ashley did make a police report in 2018 at the time of the alleged incident, and the Contra Costa Sheriff's Department confirmed her report was thoroughly investigated and it was determined the claims were unfounded. Diddy's team said Mr. Combs was nowhere near Orinda, California on the day that she claimed she was assaulted. There's no evidence that Mr. Combs was ever even in the same room as the alleged victim. She's completely unbelievable and no sane person who views the evidence will credit her